Okay, we are live.
All right, there we go. You just got yourself a promo thing for the Discord mod.
Yeah.
Which, yes, if anybody wants the Discord, when this gets shared, just send a message to Red Bandit here. He'll be more than happy to have you on.
Yes.
All right, but in this time, in this episode of Movie Madness, franchises and why most of them fail.
Yes.
All right. Well, I think we need to establish the premise of a franchise.
Yeah. Okay. I think we need to talk about the difference between a standard franchise and a cinematic universe.
I would think both would kind of be the same thing. I mean, I mean, you basically need one movie to start a whole franchise. I mean, you look at Predator, you look at Alien, you look at the MCU as a whole.
Yeah.
You look at I'm not even gonna count the trilogies. Die Hard would be another one. I don't think I mentioned Die Hard. Jaws.
Yeah.
Jaws would be a big one. Indiana Jones, Star Wars, Star Trek.
Yes. And
Live long and prosper. Unless you're a Klingon, in which case, screw you.
I would say the biggest problem with most franchises is that oftentimes they run themselves into the ground.
That is exactly what I was going to say. The thing with the first one is that you establish an interesting premise. A good example, we'll go start with the MCU because we're a Disney Channel.
Yeah.
Iron Man. You saw our hero, smug, smarmy, and egotistical, got his butt knocked down and decided, I want to change my life instead of creating weapons. I want to destroy my weapons.
Yeah.
Which is what that's what the Iron Man is all about. You want attention, you get over here.
Yeah. Come here.
Dog don't want to do that. But anyways, with Iron Man, well, maybe the table's her shelter.
Yeah.
But with Iron Man, it was pretty simple. There we go. I don't know, I'm a stickler to make sure that I'm in here too. It's like, it's just your show here. Come on. Iron Man, it started with a simple premise of puppy talks. No,
God, stop it.
She wants attention and now she go and get it.
Yeah.
Billionaire arms dealer
Bella, come here.
decides that he doesn't want to make arms anymore after one of his own nearly kills him. And that spiraled into the whole MCU because with Iron Man, they had to add in the Hulk. They had to add in Thor. They had to add in Captain America. And even another Iron Man movie in order to lead up to the Avengers movie. And you could largely say the MCU is a franchise. And at this point now, it's in a state of free fall as a failure.
Yes.
Because, I mean, just look at She-Hulk. The ratings are terrible. The ratings are terrible. Like, I've watched people that I respect on YouTube straight up say, it's like, oh, this is only the 6th episode of She-Hulk. They literally go, oh, God. If your audience and your potential fan base is going, oh, God, you're screwing up. You're screwing up. But let's go to some of the other ones besides Alien, survival horror. There's an alien on board a ship that resulted from some guy in just getting a face hugger put on his face. And the ones following that tried to replicate the same premise. But luckily James Cameron, he directed 1 and 2, I believe. No, wait, Ridley Scott directed 1. James Cameron did 2. James Cameron decided to take Alien in a whole new direction for instead of Alien 2, it's Aliens. Which is a smart way, because who wants to go see Alien 2? Why? Like, Alien 2. That's stupid. Just call it Aliens, because it's plural.
Yeah, and I guess,
No, go ahead.
I don't remember what I was going to say.
Okay. We'll go with that. You could even talk about the Halloween franchise, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. Every single one of these original movies established the premise of a killer. We don't know what they are. We don't know what they look like. Now, granted, with Jason in Friday the 13th, he didn't show up until the second one.
Oh, did you know that for the aliens, Sigourney Weaver was originally not supposed to come back?
Really?
Yeah.
She wasn't supposed to?
No.
Huh. Was it the payday or working with James Cameron?
I think it was just originally it just wasn't in the script.
Makes sense because it seemed like at the beginning of the movie it didn't work with her because granted she's traumatized, but she's suddenly a badass action hero going into this. Granted, she friggin' kicked this alien's ass in the first one, which was friggin' awesome. But then you start looking at some of these things like from the old school that franchises are established. We meet the hero. Hero ends up
The hero's journey kind of thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I have noticed is that eventually the hero's journey starts getting played out. Because all it is just the hero's journey over and over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a bad thing. But it's just that you're taking some of the parts from the original that don't work in the new one because you've established a new premise. Example. Lord of the Rings. That is a franchise of itself. All you have to say is Lord of the Rings. That encompasses the Lord of the Rings trilogy and the Hobbit trilogy, which, to Peter Jackson's credit, he did the best he could, but you got studio heads that were involved with that one, just making it harder than it was supposed to be.
Yeah, and if we're gonna go into the discussion of cinematic universes, one thing I do want to bring up is that going back to the discussion of remakes. Hercules is supposedly getting a live action remake from Disney.
I'm skeptical about this.
They've already got Guy Ritchie to direct. The Russos are involved.
Okay, this might have a good shot.
Yeah. And supposedly this is supposed to be start of a Disney cinematic universe.
I don't know how I feel about that one.
Now here's my idea. Because yes, I do think Hercules should be the start of its own a cinematic universe.
I would say focusing more on the Greek mythology.
Yes, just not a Disney cinematic universe.
That I can't agree with because it's not going to work as a Disney cinematic universe. We've already got these live action remakes of originals that are obvious, very obvious and blatant cash grabs. But I will be honest, when I saw the trailer for Little Mermaid with Ariel's tail, I was half expecting it to look like a complete fish man. I was like, is this a villain or a hero? What the heck? But I would agree. It should be a Greek mythology, which there are a lot, and I do mean a lot of interesting stories. I'm no expert on Greek mythology. I definitely am not. But I've read my fair share of them, and even the stories. For instance,
half the reason I started this Discord server
is for the Greek mythology.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got so many games, okay? So many games and so many iterations of gods and goddesses from the Greek mythology. Right off the bat, I can name 5 of them from one franchise. God of War.
Yeah.
God of freaking War. You can even add in another one. Phoenix. Immortals, Phoenix Rising. Great game. I'm on my 3rd playthrough of that.
Really?
Yeah, it's so fun. It's so much fun. But you also have to realize that a lot of Greek mythology, I don't say a whole heck of a lot. But anyways, I have read the Argonautica. I've read the Odyssey. And I'm reading the Iliad. And let me tell you, the Iliad is the hardest one to read because it's so dry. It's fun, don't get me wrong, and I'm rooting for Achilles the whole freaking way because his best friend Patroclus was just killed where I'm at.
I've been noticing that Disney's been doing a lot of crossover stuff lately, especially with their video games.
Yeah, they have. I mean, you look at Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah,
That was freaking awesome.
yeah. We had like Wreck-It Ralph. We had the Chip and Dale movie.
Oh yeah, how was that movie? I didn't see it, but
I enjoyed it.
it looked like it was fun. It didn't look like it was Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers,
Right.
which is what I grew up on watching when we were on vacation. But I was like, you know what? I'm kind of interested because they showed Bad Sonic,
Yes.
and I was like, oh my god, somebody made it. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have Wreck-It Ralph. We have the Chip and Dale movie. Of course, Kingdom Hearts.
Mhm.
A lot of online games.
Oh yeah, I mean, what was it that you're playing now? Starlight Valley?
Dreamlight Valley.
I keep getting those two mixed up.
Yeah.
Starlight Valley is not a thing. Dreamlight Valley,
Yeah.
Starlight Valley. I think Starlight Valley is actually supposed to be like a Berserk reference. Whoops!
Yeah. So like Dreamlight Valley. There's that Mirrorverse game.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
That's big.
Yeah. So yeah, Disney's been doing like a lot of crossover stuff.
They have, but it's because they're trying to branch out.
Yeah.
But part of me is thinking it's
And I'm
because-
all for it, honestly.
honestly, the original content, the Mirrorverse, the Dreamlight Valley, Kingdom Hearts,
Yeah.
it gets you out there, and it's like, oh shoot, this is the stuff that we're doing. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Like I love seeing these like different characters like interact with each other.
Yes. Oh my god, imagine if all the villains from all, like, if the villain from Moana, no, not the villain.
Yeah, Moana didn't really have.
Moana didn't really have a villain, unless it was that crab dude.
Yeah.
But even then, it's like, just imagine him having his own movie. Do you want me to talk about my shell and how shiny it is? Because I will. I'm like, I swear to God, that's freaking Dungeon Masters, DMs, for anyone that plays D&D, in a nutshell. Just get us, and I don't currently try to actually make one, get us to talk about our freaking game, and we will happily talk about it. I actually came up with one in 5 minutes. I came up with a campaign in 5 minutes, and it's basically Call of Duty Zombies in Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, cool.
You start off bare minimum equipment, and you've got at least, I would think, two waves of zombies, I think, is a start. I know you're looking for the prize, but you ain't getting the prize. 2 waves of zombies. They're low level, but you got the bare essential equipment. You do not have a lot. And it's basically you go on and you play until you can't fight no more. And when you get taken over by the zombies, you become a super zombie. Which I'm like, oh, yeah. But also the jokes with all Disney stuff. It's like, ha-ha, screw it up, you did, ha-ha. It's like, oh my God.
Okay. But getting back on topic.
Yeah, with franchises, what eventually happens is that I've noticed the original hero's journey in the first movie does well and fine, but afterwards, it's basically the one thing I will say about the MCU. You can say this for the hero's journey. It was from Iron Man all the way to Endgame,
Yeah.
and you saw that. But it was because they also took to adapt with each character and their environment in their own movie.
I mean, Iron Man and Captain America had some of the best character development in
Easily.
yeah.
But it's because they took the time to understand that the people watching these movies, they're not idiots.
Yeah.
They want to see the characters grow. They want to see the characters develop. And that's the thing. If you're going on another hero's journey, you have to change up the environment. You have to change up the scenario. It can't always be the same. And you can take some of the things from the previous movies, actually, and it'll work. For instance, I was just watching a video on The Critical Drinker, talking about how the theater scene with Matt Damon and Luke Hemsworth in Thor Ragnarok, how it works in Thor Ragnarok, but it doesn't work in Thor Love and Thunder. And it's so accurate because it's being played to Odin, we now know as Loki, but it just doesn't make sense, because why would Odin indulge in something that is very obviously making Loki the tragic hero, indulging in it, and not taking care of Asgard?
Yeah.
Like, even Thor was like, this doesn't seem right. So he throws a hammer and he unmasks Loki. And it's like, oh, look at that. It's the start of the hero's journey for Loki. He was like smarmy, conceited, narcissistic. But by the end of it, he makes the decision to do what's best for Asgard and to follow his brother and reawaken Surtur to destroy Asgard. I'm like, it works because you basically take the whole movie from one scene on theaters and make it so that he goes on his own hero's journey. And I think it still goes on in Loki, which is good. We want to see that.
One of the biggest examples of hero's journey, Star Wars.
Yes. You could easily say the archetype for the hero's journey. Right, puppy? Right, Bella? She says yes. But yeah, Star Wars, I mean, you could even say there was a hero's journey in each one, but actually there was a whole big one over the course of 3 movies, and I'm talking 4, 5, and 6. Because you saw Luke go from a wide-eyed, stars in his eyes, wet behind the nose, not wet behind the nose, wet behind the ears, farm boy. And in the course of 3 movies becomes a full-fledged Jedi. He gets his butt kicked in 5 because he thinks that he's hot stuff. Loses his hand because of his hubris.
Yeah. And another common franchise that, I will bring up is Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
Where you see Vin Diesel's character go from this common criminal to a family man.
Yeah, pretty much. And you see that not just over the course of, he has always been a family man. He's always been.
Well, yeah.
But you just see it more pronounced as the later movies go on. Especially from 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Yes.
And 9, you could even say. Puppy dog, instead of attention. But yeah, you see that. In the first one, he was a common criminal, but he still had the sense of family about him. Mm-hmm. However, it becomes much more pronounced because he runs with a new crew that become his family.
Yeah.
It's like, you want to see that. You want to see your characters change and evolve. But what happens that I've noticed with most franchises and why they fail is that they pretty much do the same thing over and over and over again. They don't change their environment. They don't change the way things are and don't adapt with.
Yeah. And to the credit of some franchise, sometimes they will try to make changes.
They will.
It doesn't work.
Right, and I will give them credit for trying to make the changes because they know if you want these people to keep coming back to the seats, you got to change it. And so they do that. Sometimes they do it well. Other times they don't do it so well.
Yeah.
But,
Jurassic Park.
Yeah. Honestly, you could have just stopped after the first movie, in all honesty. Because that was a franchise that largely worked because of the first movie. Mm-hmm. Nobody gave a rip about Lost World. It didn't do so well. And the third one actually did better than the second one, Jurassic Park 3, because it just is like, hey, you don't want to see Jeff Goldblum. You want to see Sam Neill.
Yeah.
You want to see Alan. And so it's like, all right, put him on a site B. He's got to get out. He's got to save the kid. That one was okay. Wasn't a fan. I initially was a fan because Spinosaur, destroyed T-Rex. But it's like, what? But to give them credit, they tried to introduce other big, bad dinos. However, those of us that grew up on the original, like me, know that the T-Rex was king and still is king.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of people say that that Fallen Kingdom is the best Jurassic World movie.
They're wrong. They're wrong. Jurassic World 1 was pretty dang good. Yeah. It was almost a rip, direct rip of Jurassic Park 1.
Yeah.
Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom, you could almost arguably say was because of Jurassic World 1's success.
Yeah.
And it did well. Don't get me wrong. But the story and lackluster plot just wasn't there. It wasn't the best one. Now, Dominion is out. It's out on DVD. Yeah. I have not seen it.
Okay. You probably don't want Like,
Is it that bad? Like, please tell me, is this one of those instances where it was like too big to fail, but it still failed?
yeah.
Oh my god, they did the opposite of Godzilla. Okay, that's another thing. The monster movies, the Japanese monster movies, the kaiju, and even the old Universal monster movies.
Yeah. Now,
Now, to be fair, there's two similarities between both of those. People got sick and tired of Godzilla, plain and simple, and people got tired of the Universal monster movies.
Yeah.
Okay, those things happen.
Yeah.
And we're starting to see the same thing, but we're starting to see something different with the MCU. It's not that people are getting sick and tired of superheroes. We love seeing
Yeah.
superheroes. We do.
we just want them to slow down.
Well, that's not that. We want them to be relatable to
Yeah.
us. And I'm not talking specifically about me, because who wants to see a superhero that's a teacher by day, superhero by night? Okay, first of all, when the hell are you going to be able to grade papers? 2, when the heck are you going to eat? 3, there better be a big freaking bathroom, because I know after I take care of kids, I'm like, I gotta pee bad. You can attest to this. But the truth of the matter is that these franchises are failing because the quality of writing is starting to go downhill. The characters are becoming unrelatable. We can't relate to them. Good example, Jen Walters. She's a strong female superhero, the She-Hulk, but she's not relatable. You
Yeah.
saying that she's a boss, a boss girl, a queen, a slayer,
Yeah,
at work.
People are saying episode 6 is like the worst episode so far.
Yeah, because granted, you're dealing with Mr. Immortal, and he's married all these women, and he just won't freaking die. But that's a superpower. He can't die. However, all the heaping of abuse the show itself has made it possible so that you can see, hey, this show wasn't meant for men, and it's like we hate men. We hate men. That's exactly what I got.
I'm
from
not
episode
even sure the
6.
show is even meant for women.
No, it isn't.
Like, who is this for?
And as I told you in text, it is meant for toxic feminists, and I say this because they're the ones that say, I don't need no man, I don't need no help, no nothing. Ladies, we all need help. I'm a guy, I need help sometimes. You're a female, you're gonna need help sometimes. Good example, you ain't gonna be moving that freaking oven up the dang stairs, are you? By yourself? Good luck. You're gonna be like, excuse me, can you help me? You're gonna be asking someone with muscle right here for help. But it's like, you can be the best at your job, but there's going to be other aspects of you that are like,
Yeah.
you're lacking. And that's what I say about Jen Walters. Is like, okay, she's a boss at work, but why not make her socially awkward? Because that's the thing. If you are in your element, in your work, and you're thriving, you're doing awesome, but you show lack. Like, there's a significant lack of confidence and professionalism outside in the social world. That's going to be more relatable. Because I'll be honest, what do? I'm looking for a job. I think I'm going to get a job. But I'm not a boss at work. I'm not. I'm okay out in the real world, but that's okay. That's okay. I don't expect to be the best thing ever. Like, yes, Queen, slay. Oh, yeah, let's go. No, I'm going to be like, I did my job. I'm here to do my job. That's it.
Really, the only reason why I haven't stopped watching She-Hulk is because I just want to know how this is going to end.
Yeah,
So-
and you got like 4 more episodes to go.
Yeah.
And that is what I've said. Like, there are people out there that are like, oh, 4 more episodes to go. They're sick of it. And then add in this She-Hulk fan account that said, sorry, incels, this content's not for you. Way to irritate and anger your potential fans and just say, like, this ain't for me, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, I already knew this show wasn't going to be for me. And I like She-Hulk. I thought she was awesome. She was a lawyer. Okay? That's freaking tough. That is tough. To be a lawyer. And she was socially aware and was able to break the fourth wall like Deadpool. Except she wasn't cussing all the time and wanted chimichanga. She was like, you're an ass. I was like, Sweet. Even making nods to the way, like, like pinup girls is like, oh, I don't want to be on the cover. Well, you're gonna have to if you want to make it. You're gonna have to strip. It's like, whoa, which was the author's way of saying, hey, look at what they're doing to girls. And speaking of, have you heard about what's going on in Iran?
No.
There is a big feminist revolution going on over there.
Oh,
These girls over there, they're strong. They're freaking strong. It's because they want rights over there. They want to be able to go out by themselves, to wear whatever clothing, modest clothing, by the way, and to not be escorted by a man. They are basically going against the written code of Islam, like a severely strict written code of Islam. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. But now you got feminists over here that say, oh, well, I'm being oppressed. Really? How? Well, this guy told me that he wasn't interested. Oh, boo-hoo. I'll be honest, with that red hair and that nose piercing right here, You want to know what that tells me? Hey, Toro. Come on. Actually, hey, Toro. Well, that's me. But anyways, what happens with franchises is they reuse the same stuff over and over again. And it doesn't work because the circumstances change. But the story keeps with the original. It's like, no.
They'll either run the franchise into the ground,
which is often what happens.
Try to change something, or it doesn't work.
That happens too. But give them credit.
Or and this is often the case when companies try to start franchises, is they'll add in like so many characters like right off the bat.
And that's another thing that seems to be a problem with franchises, is that you've got too many characters.
Yeah.
Just focus on a core set amount.
Yes. A couple of examples. Scoob.
They were trying to do the Barbara They were trying to kick off
a Hanna-Barbera.
That was it.
Yeah. Which I got nothing against.
No, I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yes.
But they brought in way too many characters.
Yes. And I'm so upset that Scoob Holiday Haunt ended up getting canceled, because it seemed like it was going to be like everything that the original should have been. Where it was going to focus on Mystery Incorporated.
Good.
Like just solving a mystery as kids.
That would have been cool to see.
Yes. Because I'll admit, like the first 20 minutes of Scoop were great. Was great.
I mean, it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Until they added in, until characters like Blue Falcon, Dynamite, all those characters started to show up.
Yeah. Then it's like, whoa, too many.
Yeah. And then the mystery kind of got
out of hand,
lost in the shovel.
Yeah. It's like, wait, who are we trying to catch again? You're like, and then they pull a cheap gag at the end of it, which is like, well, that kind of sucks.
Yeah. And I've heard like one thing I don't necessarily agree with is that a show or movie needs Easter eggs to keep its audience entertained.
Yeah, it doesn't need that. If the plot and the story and the acting is good, that's all you need.
Yeah.
You don't need anything else.
So a movie or show should not have to rely on fan service.
No. But every once in a while, a little fan service does go a long way. I can say this for anime. Like, for instance, you want your heroes to succeed, but you also want to say, like, hey, we're going to give them a break right now. I'm at a point in Berserk, actually, where the heroes finally got to the beach. And so it's like the hero looks on and sees all his friends enjoying themselves at the beach, just taking time to relax. It's
Yeah.
like, yes, the fighting's all swell and fine, but every once in a while, take it easy.
Yeah.
Kick
And
back a little.
I would say that's another major issue with most franchises is that a lot of them will rely too heavily on fan service.
Yeah. Now, jokes, in fan service jokes, where you got this one hero. I'm going to use One Punch Man
Okay.
as an example. One Punch Man is sort of like a parody of superhero movies. But it's a guy that's known as the Cape Baldy who is the most powerful hero in the universe. He's the most powerful one because he was able to remove his limiter and he's the ultimate power. But he is so sick and tired and bored of being a hero because he's ending fights in one punch the whole time. But that's his tagline. That's the joke. He's One Punch Man. He punches the enemies once, they're done. They're down for the count. And the whole time he's like, ah! Like he's mad.
Yeah. And
But
yeah.
there was one thing called hero crushing. There's like an A-rank hero that thought he could take on Saitama the Cape Baldy. He punches Saitama once. Screen cuts to black, and all you hear is pow. And this dude is like on the ground, like ah. And Saitama just goes on his way. It's like, wonder what I should have for dinner tonight.
Yeah.
Something like that. It's like it's a not the creator. Like, yeah, it's like this guy thinks that he can take me on. It's like he's a serious character in a joke show, but it works. It works. But yeah, too much fan service can be detrimental.
Yes. And I could think of a couple of examples of that.
Yeah, like what?
Like Star Wars, the sequel trilogy.
Oh yeah, here we go.
To an extent, Jurassic World.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. They're all. But the thing is, all of those are banking on nostalgia
Yeah.
with the whole member berry thing.
Yes. And there is a way to do nostalgia correctly.
Yeah, little nods are okay.
Yeah.
But don't make it so it's like, oh, the whole movie's on nostalgia. It's like, no, we don't want to see it. We want to see new, interesting, and original content. That's what gets us back in the seats. That's what gets it so that Hollywood gets the money in here. That's what happens. It's like, you want this? Provide us original content with slight nods to the old stuff that we liked.
Yeah. Don't overdo it.
Right. I mean, look, for God's sakes, look at Rings of Power. That you basically decided to Amazon decided to revamp the whole Second Age with the lore and destroy Galadriel, make her some boss warrior princess. I have talked to a number of people that have read and watched Tolkien, and they have said that is not Galadriel. That right there, Galadriel was never a warrior princess. She was a support character, the strongest magic user in all of Middle Earth.
And
And to take that away just as a detriment, not only to Tolkien, but to everyone else.
I would say also with most franchises is that a lot of them tend to become like more and more inconsistent over time.
Yep. Yep, I can agree with that. I can agree with that quite a bit. So I would say, just try to, the way that a franchise keeps working, obviously you have a start line.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say
You need to have a roadmap.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And also, in that roadmap, there has to be an end point. Because if there's no end point, guess what? It's going to keep going and going and going until eventually we get to where the MCU is, where it's just crashing and burning.
Yes. And also, not only do they become inconsistent, but I've seen a lot of people say with franchises like the MCU or even like DC, or because DC is another big one.
Yeah, DC is another big one, but that one's getting pretty inconsistent.
They'll just be like, I can't keep up with this anymore.
Right. There's eventually a point where everyone says, I'm jumping ship.
Yeah.
In the MCU, that was Endgame. This whole 10-year storyline that was built up all the way to Thanos and beating him, it was done. It was done. It was over with.
Yeah. Honestly, I really think they should have just put an end to the MCU after Endgame.
Yeah, pretty much because because the franchise, it's like it's pretty much dead in the water. At this point, the quality of the product has gone down. The writing has, as a result, has dropped significantly and drastically.
Although I will say, I actually think I liked Love and Thunder a little bit more than Multiverse of Madness.
Love and Thunder was okay. Multiverse, I enjoyed actually more than Love and Thunder, but that's because with Multiverse of Madness, they tried to make it work.
Yeah.
However, there were some things that was just, it was a mess.
Yeah.
Like, you could tell Sam Raimi wanted to go full Raimi on some of the things, and there were points where he did, and it was great. But then you could also see, like, there was somebody holding his hand.
Yeah.
Like, it was very obvious. Someone was telling him, do this instead of what you plan to do. And that dilutes the theory and the product of what the director wants to give the consumer. And it's like, well, that's not what I want to see.
Yeah. Harry Potter.
Well, to be fair, Harry Potter did have an end in mind.
Oh, yeah.
But the franchise itself has gone downhill, especially with Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, because of the firing of Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
However, we also know that it's like, I watched the first two movies, and I was like, meh, it's all right. It's not Harry Potter, but to be fair, I'm not expecting Harry Potter. But I was hoping that Newt Scamander would be just a tad bit more interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, like there's this new report that I guess Universal might end up buying Warner Brothers.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh, I'm reminded of those Vin Diesel memes. Like, you think Vin Diesel's gonna show up in like the next Fantastic Beasts movie? You can't defeat Grindelwald without family. I swear to God, if he shows up, I'm gonna have a freaking field day. I'm gonna laugh so freaking hard. My girlfriend is gonna be like, "This isn't Fantastic Beasts." Is like, nah, this is Fantastic and the Furious. Fast Beasts and Where to Find the Furious. That would be so freaking cool. Ugh.
Now, okay, like when it comes to DC, would you say like the characters are technically franchises of their own?
Yes, they are. I would even say
Okay.
that because, I mean, you've got Aquaman, you've got Batman being a big one, Superman, Green Lantern, not the Ryan Reynolds one, okay? Not the Ryan Reynolds one. We don't talk about that one. And even Wonder Woman as well. Wonder Woman. Why did I have to think about Wonder Woman? But yeah, each one is a franchise in of themselves, but they're all part of a bigger cog, and they're part of a large cogs in the machine. Oh, and Shazam too.
Yes. Yeah, technically Shazam and Black Adam, I guess.
Yeah, Shazam and Black Adam. I don't know if I'm gonna go see that one because it looks like it's a different version of Black Adam than what I know.
Okay.
Which I'm like, I don't know. If enough people say like, oh, it's interesting, it's good, okay, I'll go see it. I'll give it a shot. But honestly, it looks like Dwayne "The Rock's" Johnson is just playing himself and not, the Pharaoh of Kahndaq.
Yeah, that's been a lot of people's criticism of Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, it's like he's just playing himself, which I'm like, okay, in a Dwayne Johnson movie, that could work. But in a movie where you got to play somebody else and not who you are, you want to give the guys that are watching this movie something close to what they know.
Yeah. I did enjoy Super Pets like to an extent.
I mean, it's hard to screw up Super Pets because you can imprint a personality onto the pets. Because let's be honest with the pets, they can be whatever. I mean, there was a Super Pets TV show.
Yeah.
before there was a Super Pets movie, but with Dwayne Johnson being kind of himself, it's like, okay, it works.
Yeah.
It works. Because all we need to know about Krypto is that he is Superman's dog. He's for truth, justice, and the dog way.
I just didn't like that, they took away his powers at the beginning of the movie.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Why? Why did you... Krypto should just be able to hide and not use his powers. He's like Superman. Why take his powers away at the beginning? And all I'm reminded is, wake up, buddy. It is lock o'clock.
Did you see that that end credit scene?
I did not watch the movie, actually.
Okay.
So, no.
So there's an end credit scene of Krypto talking with, I guess, apparently Black Adam as a pet. Like,
Is it a dog or?
yeah, I guess he has a dog named Anubis. I guess.
Yeah, that is technically a dog.
So,
Really working hard on that Egyptian folklore thing.
so,
And of course, he also voiced Black Adam when he showed up, right?
I think so.
Didn't he also voice Anubis in a way? So,
Don't know.
because I would think Anubis and Krypto, it's like, I mean, it's kind of funny when you think
Yeah.
about it.
But yeah, so Anubis shows up, and Anubis and Krypto kind of get into this like debate on if
Who's stronger? Who's better?
on if an anti-hero is technically a villain.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. I remember seeing that on YouTube.
It was funny.
It was, because that's the thing about anti-heroes, is that they cross the line to kill people all the time. But those only showed up because of our generation.
Yeah.
Because it's like, we don't like Superman as much. We liked Deadpool and even Batman. But Batman never crossed the line.
Yeah.
But I like anti-heroes, such as Jason Todd's Red Hood. Freaking awesome, man. Freaking badass.
If he's anti-hero, then isn't he a villain?
Yeah, he kind of is. Which is the other thing that bothers me about Black Adam. Black Adam is a villain. He's not an anti-hero. He's a villain.
Which I think the point of that scene was to kind of like poke fun at that.
Yeah, which I'm like, yes. Black Adam is not a hero. He's not an anti-hero. He's a villain.
Yeah, and just to kind of go back to the MCU for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
There's a scene in Spider-Man: No Way Home. I don't know if it was in the original as well, or if it was like added into the extended cut.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a scene where Peter is being interrogated by the detectives, and they're questioning him about like destroying all these like national monuments.
I think that was in the extended version.
Yeah, and then the scene with the fairy from Spider-Man: Homecoming comes up, and Peter's just like, well, if you guys had just done your job from the beginning, I wouldn't have been on that boat. Like, yes, thank you. Like,
Pretty much. It's like, if you guys did your job, this wouldn't have happened. Which, to be fair to the cops as well, Peter was rambunctious and just went right ahead.
yeah,
But it's like, still, again, as we said about, Homecoming, I'd say the biggest problem with that movie was there was a lack of communication
Yes.
between Tony and Peter.
yes.
And even Happy and Peter. Happy Peter.
So, throwing shade at Spider-Man: Homecoming made me happy. Like,
Well, yeah, because let's be honest, it wasn't as good of a movie as it should have been.
no.
Okay. Well, I think we've gotten to the point where the franchises and why most of them fail. It's because, they keep redoing the same stuff over and over. The environment changes, but everything, it's like, it still stays the same. No, you got to add some things and variables into context
Yeah.
with why, Die Hard. Nakatomi Plaza with the tower. Why did that work, whereas it didn't work as well in the airport? Because, for one thing, he's not crawling around in a vent. Okay, he's running around an airport. Fair enough.
Yeah, and I'll even say there are some franchises that shouldn't even be franchises to begin with.
Yeah, like what?
Like, what's a good example? I've heard that new Home Alone movie is awful.
Yeah, Home Alone has really gone downhill.
Yeah.
Like, the first one was great, classic. Second one, it's all right. But after that, nobody cares.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
The only reason why I like the third one is that it actually tried to do something different.
All right, credit to where it's due.
Where pretty much all of the Home Alone movies are Christmas movies except for that one.
Ooh, okay, that is definitely different.
Yeah.
But I will say this about Die Hard. In all my years, I would never have thought Die Hard is a Christmas movie. But it is. It takes place during Christmas.
Yeah.
Which is why I would even say, and I dare to say, Spider-Man No Way Home is a Thanksgiving movie and a Christmas movie. Because it takes place during, obviously after Thanksgiving, but before Christmas.
I mean, technically, Iron Man 3 is a Christmas movie.
Yeah. But
So-
no one's ready for that conversation.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to have that conversation.
Yeah. I would say like stuff like Transformers.
Yeah, that one, the first one was fun, but after a while, it got repetitive and easily
Yes.
planned out.
Yeah.
It was all the same. It was like first movie, then they took the first movie, second movie, and just moved it on down the line. Like it was all the same.
Yeah.
There was nothing new about it. Nothing. The only
Yeah.
thing that was new was the Transformers that showed up. It was basically like a Saturday morning cartoon on a big scale budget, but it sucked.
Yeah, that's why whenever somebody brings up Transformers, I just say like, just stick with the first three movies and
That's
you'll be
it.
good. Yeah.
You don't need any more. The first three were
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
But I will say this so far with Sonic. Sonic 1 was really good.
Yeah.
Sonic 2, not quite as good, but they're adapting the material from Sonic 2, which was different. And it's like, okay, this is cool. This is good. They even added in their own stuff, so it was interesting.
Idris Elba as Knuckles. Like,
I'm going to break stuff. I'm like, Idris Elba as Knuckles. Okay, that's fun.
do I look like I need your power?
That was fun. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, I'm honestly hoping that, I don't think franchises are going to keep being successful. Eventually, they're going to fail and fall flat on their butt because people get sick and tired of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we need something new.
Yeah, and I've even heard like some people say that when it comes to movies, like it's like the future of movies is going to be like nothing but franchises. I don't know.
I don't know how I feel about that because franchises eventually run out of gas. They run
Yeah.
out of steam, and eventually new franchise.
Yeah,
The new franchise.
that's why
They new one.
like
It's like just have single standalone movies.
yes, I love supporting movies like some of the like smaller independent movies like Gifted or Beast, another Idris Elba movie.
Oh yeah, how was that movie?
It was good.
Okay, I thought it seemed like it was a good one. What?
Yeah. Because they're not trying to be franchises. They're just these like simple standalone movies with one contained story,
Mhm.
and that's it.
Yeah, that's all you need.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't try to make it a series, for God's sakes. They made it 2 movies, one part, second part. That's it. But I think we've run out of gas. And also, I would say with the first It movie, was good. It was focused on the kids, but once it got to the adults, it was like, man,
Yeah. And also,
it's Cohen.
yeah.
Your dog just punched me in the nuts.
Another franchise that that Universal tried to do but didn't quite pan out was their Dark Universe.
Yeah, with the Mummy movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one just like you could have stuck with like an original. But
Which I'm not against the idea of that.
I'm not either. I would love to see the MonsterVerse.
Yeah.
But it just, in my opinion, that one wasn't executed so well.
Yeah.
Because they tried to make it like, oh, monster, monster, monster. Everybody's a monster. I'm like, that doesn't work. You got to have humans that defeat the monsters. The humans never become the monsters. They always retain their level of humanity and power and nobility. That's what I took from the original movies.
Yeah.
Whereas these new ones, it's like, well, in order to beat a monster, you have to become a monster. I'm like, no, you don't.
And I think we're kind of like running out of time here.
Yeah, we are. We got like 8.5 minutes.
Yeah.
So franchises should not be the way of the future, and more often than not, they fail because eventually you run out of gas, you run out of steam, you run out of ideas.
And I think next time we'll probably like continue this conversation going into like video game franchises.
Oh yes, please,
Okay.
because there's a lot of things. Like I could easily say the one that will never run out of gas is Zelda, like ever.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's enough for now.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you all for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe,
and
and check out our Discord
yes.
server. We'd love to have you.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Toodaloo. Au revoir. Bye bye. Adios.